In my last video, I launched Jeff World, the artwork. It's a whole project I'm doing where I'm getting people to submit photos of themselves, like portraits. I'm then doing illustrations of them and then collaging them into one larger artwork to make like this Jeff World that everyone's being dropped into. And I'm really happy to say with this video that you all rock because the project's working. I've had over 30 people submit photos via my form, and I've spent the last few weeks drawing a bunch of portraits and putting people into the artwork, and so that's what this video today is all about. Hey friend, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. I'm Jeff. I'm an artist, illustrator, and maker, and I've been working full-time as an artist since November 2016 when I quit my day job as a visual merchandiser working in retail. Nowadays, the work that I do varies quite a lot from murals and public art, artwork licensing, community projects, and workshops, so I'm always working on something new. But when it came to this channel, I really wanted to share more of the behind the scenes of me working in the studio. So a lot of it is me playing and prototyping new ideas, doing creative prompts, and just sharing what I learn along the way. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, and now let's get into the video. Hello. So like I said, this video is giving you a bit of an update on Jeff World, the project. This video is also coming a little bit later because I've actually been kind of busy with some client projects. I had a really quiet part at the start of the year, which allowed me to keep up to date with YouTube, but I had some projects come up for 3 clients, sort of all within a space of like a month and a half, which meant I just had to put YouTube on the back burner, which is, I think, totally fine. I could have tried to like pump something out, but I'm trying to have a really good work-life balance and only put out videos that I'm really happy with. The client projects that I did over the last few months was a whole bunch of workshops for this really fun science place called Questacon, and like a window display. I did a mural with a disability art studio called Studio Arts that we've been working on for a few months. We finally got that finished and launched the day before my birthday, which was really good. So I just had to step back from YouTube for like a month and just be like, chill out, Jeff, you'll be fine. Just put something out when you've got it. But for today, it's all about a Jeff World update. So let's get started and show you the portraits that I've been doing. Like I said, I had over 30 submissions so far. Looking at the page, I've had 35 in total, and some of the submissions have been with multiple people in it, which, you know, was something I didn't want to do, but I've just like let it slide for the beginning of this, but I want it to be just individual people going forward. Mostly everyone has come from YouTube, which is why I said at the very beginning, you guys rock, because like the people who are watching this then went and like clicked the link, submitted the form, and yeah, it just feels really nice that a system that I put together and you're like wanting to be a part of it, which is obviously the whole point of this project. So again, thank you. Some was from a few friends that I just reached out to that we had spoken about doing portraits in other ways, and I was like, hey, I'd really like to put you in this. Some like my best friends and stuff. And then there's also some that have come from Instagram as well. So having the link in my bio and doing a little reel explaining it to everyone on Instagram. My 2 audiences of Instagram and YouTube, there's like a little bit of cross-pollination. Not everyone on Instagram necessarily wants to watch long-form videos from me, so that's fine. But I'm glad that at least some people through Instagram are finding it and submitting it as well. It turns out I'm probably getting around 2 or 3 submissions each week. So I think that's a big tick for me for creating a system that is easy enough for people to submit to. And I actually only started working on the portraits when I was away for this project in another state, and I was staying in my hotel. I did like 3 or 4 in my hotel room at nighttime, and that felt really good to do. I was trying to make sure the majority of the portraits only took me about 20 to 30 minutes. I wanted to make sure it was like really fun and playful and sort of quick, and build up my skills in doing really quick portraits and what that style could look like. There was some that were just not full body, which again was something I was trying to avoid. But I did it anyway, and just like made some people look like they're coming out of the holes of the ground. Or if like they didn't have the full outfit and like didn't have their shoes, I had to kind of like make up what their shoes would look like. So I've done 8 of the 35, and I think I'm just going to go through them now really quickly, show you them, and talk about the process. All right. One thing I am really liking is exploring my different textured brushes to create like fabric texture. So that's been really fun to just sort of add more new textures to my saved album or brushes on Fresco on my iPad. So that's really good. I really like this one. This is 2 people in my family. The next one, I guess when I first started doing them, I was automatically going into like, it's got to look exactly like the people, and I had to warm myself into the style of it. So I spent a lot of time tracing around the photos to get like the postures and positioning of faces, and then I had to sort of strip that away. Yeah, it just like took me a few portraits to sort of really lean into my style, and you'll be able to see when you look at all the 8 portraits together which ones were probably done at the beginning because they're much more realism focused, and then ones towards the end is when I really started to have fun and open them up. Cute little doggo in this one. Love the pattern on the floral pattern on the pants on this one, and the contrast between the different textures of the clothes. Really fun to do. This one, this is one of the more one of the last ones I did, and playing around with like the warped hands and shoes I really love. Especially because the outfit was so much more simple. I wanted to play around with the pose that the person was doing. This one was a super cute outfit, and I love the way that the knit has turned out. It was like this multicolored yarn, and just playing around with how to do that was a fun process. So yeah, this whole outfit was really fun to do. This one is another friend, and yeah, I like the outfit. Hair is becoming another thing that I'm starting to build up a process of how I'm doing it, like blocking out the shape, adding some texture, and then over the top doing some line work to create movement and sort of show the direction that the hair is moving. Because it's funny that how much the hairstyle brings the person to life in a portrait. This one, another person I know, and I wanted to make this one a little bit more like caricature. The photo was a little bit more, it was done through like a reflection of a like glass, so it was a lot more like fragmented. So as a result, I wanted to make it a little bit more simplified and cartoony, and I put a flower in their hands. And moved the camera to the side because it was them taking a selfie of them in the mirror. So I thought, why not make it so like they're holding a flower and this person's a photographer. So I really wanted to make sure that I add the camera in there as well to represent them. I loved when I was getting submissions from people who I know. It's just like a really nice thing of support when they do it, and especially like if you haven't spoken to the person for a while, and out of nowhere you get this like submission. It's like, oh, that's really nice. So I'm thankful for that. This next one, I loved doing the jacket. It was a really metallic, glittery, like patterned jacket, and I loved that the outfit was so simple outside of that. So that was fun to do. This one, loved all the stripes and the pattern clashing. The pose was really great as well, and I couldn't help but sort of just like make it even more elevated in the playfulness. So, love hearts on the hands, making the earrings really nice and big and chunky, chunky shoes as well, and like stripes on stripes. It just was a really nice one to put together. I really liked this. And then, so that's all of them. And like I might put up now a little everything together shot, and you'll be able to see that, like I was just saying, the style of them really is wide. I guess like at one end of the spectrum are the ones that are a little bit more like realistic, and then at the other end it becomes much more cartoony and playful. So they're all the portraits saved as PNG files. And then I went and put them into the Jeff World file. So let's go do that now. Dropping all the artworks into the Illustrator file was a pretty exciting moment and very satisfying as well. Just like laying them all out and just knowing that I've been able to flesh out the world a lot more. And so when I started to put this first round of updates and these 8 portraits into the artwork, I first just like initially started to fill the gaps. And then once I did that, I wasn't necessarily happy with it. It didn't necessarily feel right, I guess. I couldn't really gauge what's like the progress, I guess. And I just kept on doing minor little tweaks and changes all the time. So I went back in and did a rearrangement of it, and I condensed a lot of the people into being on the right hand side and sort of worked out how dense I need all the people to be. So in theory, on the right hand side is like, you know, a finished section of the artwork. By doing this, it allowed me sort of, I guess, it allowed me to gauge how many people or how many portraits I need in each little section, and I could now go, okay, cool. For the remaining of the artwork, that space that's left, I probably need about 20 portraits in total to finish it, and it gives me a clearer idea of like how close I am to the finish line and like a goal to achieve. If I kept it in that first stage of all the people everywhere, I could just keep on slotting people in, and sort of it's really unclear of how much progress I've made. The more that I think about it, this is something that I do with a lot of my projects, especially in proposals for clients, is the giving myself a fully fleshed out 10% of the project to show like this is what the end goal could look like, allows the client to see often if you've got, you know, the whole project, this is my concept sketches, this is my mood board, this is my color palette, here's my rough sketches, and then here's a little sample of it in like its fully realized illustration with like texture and richness and detail. It then allows the client to go, cool, this is what it'll look like at the end, and here's all the ideas, and they can kind of like bridge that gap between a concept sketch and the realized thing. If I don't give them that little like 10%er, it can sometimes be hard to sell the idea that like it's going to look really good and that I'm going to put in all those details. And I think this is another really clear example of that. I've sort of given myself a little 10% art finished. This is how dense it's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. And the rest of it is going to be just as good as well. Yeah, I found that kind of an interesting thing. I guess I was the client in that situation, and I needed to be sold on what it's going to look like at the end and how long until the finish line was going to be. So that's me putting in all of the portraits. And it's cool to know that like from with the remaining, so like 20 portraits that have been submitted, it'll probably fill up this. Now the artwork is updated. I have also updated the image on my website and added a little date in there to show when it was last updated. And I'm thinking now I'm probably going to have both versions as maybe like a carousel slide of the initial portrait, the initial Jeff World, and then like with the first update, so people can see how it's evolving through time. And once I finish this first iteration and fill up this first page of Jeff World, I think what I'm going to do is then send everyone who is in it a digital copy of the artwork and then like a digital copy of their illustration as well, and sort of do it as like, it's done, here you go, rather than like drip feeding it to everyone. Yeah, I think that's just the best way of doing it. So, surprise, if you've submitted, you're going to get a copy of your portrait. I didn't want to say it at the very beginning because I didn't know if it was something that I'd be able to do or if the project would work. So I didn't want to promise something without knowing that it will happen. So yeah, surprise. And I think that's kind of it. That's the update for now. So if you want to still submit a photo, you obviously still can. I have the form or the web page linked in the description below. I'll have it linked in my Instagram bio, or just like send me a message and ask me for the link and I'll send it to you. Just please be sure to look at what I want, the criteria of it. So full body, fun outfit, cool pose, or like fun pose. You can support this page and this video by giving it a like and letting me know what you think in the comments. If you think this project or what I do could be interesting to a friend, feel free to share the channel with them. It's really nice to be chatting to people in the comments and even over on Instagram as well with the people who are crossing over there, and just like making a bit more of a little community and sharing things that we've done. I got a lot of really good chats in the cardboard fabrication curtains videos where I was talking to people about cardboard stuff and projects they want to do and things like that. So other than that, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support. Like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.